Hi. This is Flosstube number 5. I did one extra one in between, which was my 24 hours of cross stitching. I'm not going to give that one a number. I could have, but I decided it was a bonus one, and I guess people just don't give them numbers. So, hi. My name is Sheila, and I am Mrs. Stitches. This is a channel about cross stitching. So it's been just about 3 weeks since my last video. And boy, have I done a lot. I'm not going to inundate you with it all, but my stack of whips is huge. So sit down, get a cup of coffee or a drink of water or a pop or whatever your beverage of choice is, and get ready. So let's see, today the date is November 6th, I believe. Oh, I should really know these things. See if the 6th or the 7th. Oh, I can look at my computer. Oh, it's November 8th. Well, I was off. So it's Monday, November 8th, 2021. So as I said, last time I did a video, right after that, after it was published, did 24 hours cross stitch. And I like to do mine as a consecutive 24 hours. So what I did was I woke up on Friday and started the 24 hours, and so I finished Saturday morning. I think it was around 9 or 10 o'clock. I ended up staying up all the next day, and so in reality I end up staying awake for something like 36 hours or something like that. I always get the best sleeps ever after 24 hours. This 24 hours of cross stitch, I decided to work on one project only, but in the end I switched to another project. But I did put in a solid, let's see, I think I started at 9 a.m. to midnight. I worked on one project only. So that was a good 15 hours on it. So I'll show you that one first. So this is my first height that I bought. And I'm gonna, I'll get the ready to show you what it's supposed to look like. Oops, just one moment. There. Oops, that's not what I want to do. Let's see. Oops. Sorry about this. Oh gosh. There we go. Okay, I'll just make that big. Go away, all the things. That's what happens when you don't open your Chromebook in a long time. Get away all those notifications. Okay. So this is what it's going to look like when it's done. It's Heaven and Earth design by the artist is James C. Christensen, and it's called Tempus, Fugit, or Time Flies. I believe around, oops, I don't know how far I am in it. I've inadvertently finished going across because this was my first one, and like I said, many mistakes in my cross-stitching career. I read very carefully to add a margin of 2.5 or 3 inches, probably 3 inches is what I did. All I did was I didn't double it and make it 6 inches. So when I started working across, suddenly I was running out of room. Luckily, this is all wallpaper on this side. And so I just, let's see, actually it's on this side. So it would have been about that much more of wallpaper. So I just cut it short. And so that works. Coming down, it's going to be a bunch of like tile work, like checkered tile. And so again, I'll have to cut it short. So looking at Pattern Keeper, I have to fill in all the stuff I haven't done, but it's still, there's probably about, I think, I want to say about 50, maybe, I don't know, about 30 or 50 squares to the right that I'm not doing. But this is what I did. I will show here a picture when I started. and here is a picture when I'm done, or I'll try and do split screen. We'll see. But this is what I've done. So in the 24 hours, I mostly worked on this area. I worked a bit on his hat, I worked a bit on the clockwork here, and I did some of the wallpaper. So that was, I think, I think that was a little over 2,000 stitches, I believe. I think it was 2,100 stitches that I got in, so that was pretty good. Then when I switched at midnight, I went to my Nightmare Before Christmas sale that I'd been working on, and did the squares for the day. I had a square for the Friday and square for Saturday. Since then, it finished up October 31st, and in the meantime, I worked at getting the rest of it done. So it's a finish for now. I still have more to do. That's my own creation. So I want to add the phases of the moon, and I also want to make a boat out of the sides. So this is what I've finished on the Nightmare Before Christmas sale. So I finished all the house, and like I said, I want to do a boat going from here down and over and down. And then I was thinking of doing a tent stitch, and that way I think the writing would stand out a bit more. And then I was going to do across the top here the phases of the moon. So that's my plan. So I really enjoyed this. It was fun because it was 500 stitches every day, or 441 stitches every day. So every day I'd wonder what the next square would be. And so it just was really fun following along in the sale. I think that's the first sale I ever kept up with. So I was pretty pleased with that. I worked a bit on my Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. I've been counting stitches because I was doing 100,000 stitches in 100 days. That wrapped up, it actually wraps up tomorrow, but I finished it on Saturday. So I'm really pleased with that. I'm so happy. I didn't think I could do that. So I was working mostly on things that were in Pattern Keeper so I could get a good count on stitches. I had done some when I got Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. I just wanted to start. And so I did start, but then it got too hard to count the stitches. So I put it aside. I had been wanting to finish the square for October and do a square a month. So I'm probably, I think I have 2 more ghosts and a little bit more of the graveyard, but I probably could bang this out in a night or one day. So I will get the square done before the next video, and I should get started on November square. So that's my goal. Now, whether I go across or go down, because Julie at Stitching at the Cabin made a good point that I probably should do the outlines down just to make sure there's room. I think there's going to be room because I have measured it, and I'm learning that things can look a lot different than they really are. But anyway, so this is my Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. I find that always a mouthful. My brain and mouth don't connect on that one, but I'm gonna work on that this week. So that's 3. Let's see, how many more do I have in this pile? I got lots more in this pile. I think I got probably 10. I have a new start. I'll do that. I actually have 2 new starts, so I'm going to do those at the end. I didn't bring the page. Did I? Maybe I did. Just one moment. Yes. So I should have brought the thing for Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow, but I'm sure most people, I'll try to remember next time. Next, I worked on the Modern Folk Embroidery Mary Harry. This was a September mystery sampler that was put together by Evertote. It was a great package. We got project bag, we got the fabric, which is by Leo and Roxy, and it's called back in the saddle. I believe it's 28 count. And we got the Leon Roxy threads, and we got the cool, oh, it's not on here, it's on another one, needle minder, which was of Jacob. And it's been a pleasure stitching on this. So I did put quite a bit in this. I wanted to color complete, and I did one color completion, which was this color right here. So I have now done 2 color completions. This is how much I got done. I got all the acorns done all around, and I've started on the letters. So I'm really happy with that. My personalizations will be coming all in this area here. So I have to work my way to there and kind of plot it all out. Speaking of, I think I mentioned Evertotes. They're the one that put this together. I had some exciting news. I'm so excited. I saw on her video that she had planned 2 years ago to have her first stitching retreat. And so I think it was supposed to be in it might have been supposed to be in 2019 or 2020. And must have been 2020. And of course, COVID got in the way. So then it got delayed or postponed to the next year, and then it got postponed. Now it is going to happen for 2022. And so she had a waiting list. And so I put my name on the waiting list, and I got in. So that's going to be in April 1st to 4th in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And Stitch MD's going, and of course Caroline from Evertotes will be there, and I'm sure there'll be tons of other people to meet. So I'm really excited about that. I got my hotel booked, and we're trying to figure out how to get me there and get me home. I'm thinking of flying there and then taking a train home. So we're going to look at our options. I thought train would be kind of nice for maybe a less of a carbon footprint, and it could be stitching time. Like, it might be just fun to see the countryside via train. I haven't done very little train traveling, so I'm kind of excited about that. So my husband and I are planning it out for me, and so that's in the works. So that's really exciting. So that was Mary Harry. I did a little bit on this. Let's see. I don't think I can show you what this is going to look like. I don't think I have it in my Chromebook, and so it's on my phone. So I'll try to add a picture in of what the final looks like here. And I don't have a before, but I didn't really put that much into it. I think I was just trying to get some stitches. So it doesn't look like a much right now. This is it right way up? No, it's not. It's this way. It's called, I'm test stitching this, and it's Salty Day on the Rocks, or Salty Day on the Rock. I've been calling it Salty Day on the Rocks. And it's a photograph of a cove with some crashing waves in Newfoundland. And this is done by, I believe it's Painting with Stitches. I will put the name below. And so this is what I've done so far. I'll bring it close to see. I also got a picture. So it's kind of an interesting, it's full coverage except the sky in the background. So what I had to think about this was a little bit about what color fabric. This fabric looks white. It's actually called a mint green. But it's a bit of a confetti, but it has some good sections. I just have to get into it. I really want to get to the water and the foam and the crashing of the rocks and see it come to life, because right now it's just rock, and so you only can do rock for so long. So those are my new starts. Worked on Overcovid a bit, probably not as much as I would like. But I will show you Overcovid as I always do. Do have to finish this up. I like to finish it up I was hoping by the end of this year, but I don't know. We'll see. So I don't think I got my 2,000 stitches, but I did do a lot about this tree right over here. So I got a lot of the tree coming together, and I think I got a tiny bit left of the boat. And so that's Overcovid. I may have finished it. I think I had the sky already done, but it's good when I sit down and work on it. I do love it. So I really just have to, you know, you've got so many things to stitch in so little time, even when you're retired. As you'll see, I got kind of these new starts that are kind of taking my passion, and interestingly enough, they're all on, I want to say linens, and I just say linens meaning non-Aida. Those seem to be what I'm kind of having fun with, and I thought I was totally Aida girl, but who knew? Next one is, and this is when I was finishing up my 100,000 stitches in 100 day, the final 2,000 stitches I started on Saturday. I had 21 stitches left to go, and I just decided I'm going to stitch until I am done. Thank goodness it was daylight savings, so I actually gained an hour. So I finished about 1 a.m. Now I can't remember if that was, I think that was 1 a.m., but it was midnight when you get the daylight. So that's not bad. So I picked a project that for me is easy to get stitches on, and that was Pandemic. And I wonder, why have I not finished this? You know, I could have done this for my 100,000 stitches because it's 77,000 stitches, and I think I'm at about a quarter done. So, but no, I just seem to pick this up, love it when I do it, and work on it, and then I put it down and it languishes for a while. But I guess that's the way it is. So I did tons. I got some, I'm going to do a new section, and I'll insert it right after I finish all this, called, I'm going to have a new section called Sheila's Secondhand Stash. And so I got, if you look in the 24 hours cross stitch video, the bonus video, you'll see me actually getting, my husband went to Facebook Marketplace and bought a whole bunch of boxes of threads, and there were all kinds of different types of threads. Some were DMC. I think I just broke even on the DMC things, and then all the other stuff is bonus. And so I used some of these different threads. So these, in my mind, are free threads. And so I did this, all this color in here, all this in here, the pink and the light green, the purple, and even the black are all my cheaper threads, but I love them actually. So if you look at them, the only thing is they maybe don't, they actually have great coverage. And so the dark green is DMC and the dark blue is DMC, but and this medium green is DMC. Let me get my finger over. This is DMC, this is DMC, these are DMC, but this is, oh, I think it's a mystery one that I couldn't even read the label. This purple one is from a bag somebody gave me of free stuff. This black is Anchor, I believe. There was two. I did one in one and one in another. And the light green is, yeah, I can't remember. I'll have to they're not DMC, and they're not Anchor, and they're not JP Coats. Some of them are just, I think it's called Moon Brand, which is a really cheap brand from China. I had one called Designed for the Needle. It sounds like, you know, needle NPI, but it's not, and it doesn't roll off the tongue. Then there were some that were like a real cheap no-name brand, which I'm going to cover in the section. But anyway, so this is how much I got done. So it's great. I have a mistake. I got a mistake in my crows, or whatever they are. I'm not sure what birds they are. And I got a mistake in my flowers, but that's okay. I somehow got shifted over, and all I have to do is I have to make sure I get myself right before I go down. So I just want to correct on that error. So I'm probably going to put it away for couple of months, forget all about that and carry on with the mistake, because that's what I do. Okay, so now the new starts, and then we'll get to maybe the Sheila Secondhand Stash, and a little bit of haul. I might not do too much haul. But first, the new starts. So November is November Black Sampler month. And so I bought Nessie Mitchell by Momma Loves You GB. And so I started it and got another mistake. So this mistake is I decided to do it on 20 count, and you know, enjoying it. I love the color of this fabric with the black. It's really pretty. But then I'm going along, so I'll just show you what I've done. It's all kind of like black flowers, and it's very nice. And it's just a quick stitch. It's just 3,000 stitches, but you know, I don't know how many I've done, but I've done about 600 or so. And then I realized, I just kind of suddenly, the light bulb went on. It's like, oh, there's 1/1. So I've done this with the anchor that I've gotten in the stash. And I'm doing 2/2. No, I'm doing 2/1. Doing 2/1. So when I get to the 1/1, I can't do that. So I think what I'm going to do is, I think the words are down at the bottom and there might be one more border. What I plan on doing is just bopping the border down. I'm going to make the name just same size as everything else. So the name was half the size of the letters in the sampler, but everything's going to be all the same size. So may or may not finish that this month. I'm not sure. I kind of, like I said, got distracted and onto another sale. So this other sale, I don't think my mom is watching this. If you are, Mom, please look away or stop the video. You've seen enough. So bye, Mom. But I don't think she's watching. I decided to crash, bang, boom. Do this for my mom for Christmas. So I am actually flying out to see her at the end of this month. And I'm going to be out there for 3 weeks. That's in BC. So it's really across Canada I'm flying. So I'm going to, I want to get this done before that. I think I've got about 2.5 weeks. So I'm kind of putting a bit of a push on this, but I want to change it, and I'd like to ask everybody's opinion. So my husband thought, why do Merry Christmas? And then she's only going to hang it up at Christmas time. And so I was kind of thinking, I can either just do it as it is, Merry Christmas, or I could rechart that part of it. So I'm going to do her initials up here where the initials are, and I'll do this, the year, 2021. But I was thinking something like Home, Heart, and Happiness, or Home, Heart, Happiness. I have to see if I can fit that across there. I could also just do home and actually do a heart and then happiness. Might look like home, love, happiness. I don't know. Anybody have any suggestions that might fit in there? That would be great. So this is Blackbird Designs Christmas Rose. And I picked out, this is Lagana. I think it's, I want to say Antique Mocha or something like that, or the sun. So I'm going to do another sampler also on here. I'm going to do one for my aunt, which I'll get to in a minute, but I started off with my mom's. So this, I've done the border. I just started it yesterday. I've done the border and I've started on the letters with the red. So it's, I love the border. Love, love, love the border. If you can see, if it focuses in. Oh, it doesn't look like it's focusing. Okay. It's, I belong to Owl's Nest, which I'm getting Gentle Art threads. And because I'm international, she said it turned out it would be cheaper if I get them shipped out every 3 months. So I've paid I think 4 months worth now and hadn't received any. But they came the other day. So I've already kind of dipped into them to put them in kits. And so that's what started me on doing this. So I thought, oh, I'm going to kit out the Blackbird designs with the Gentle Arts threads. And so these are some of the ones I've gotten. So I've mixed them all up now, but I love them. I absolutely love them. I love the way they're working on the card. I love their pre-cut the perfect length. I love having, of course, the 2 holes. The card's nice and sturdy. They're color fast. I love the variegation that's happening in them. It's sort of not too in your face and yet subtle. They still see a little bit. I don't know if you saw on this, like even on the red, it started with a dark red and it's going into a lighter red and all around the border, and just loving the colors. So I'll just show you some of the colors. I haven't finished picking out all the colors. At first I did the border in a different color. I did it with this color here. And this was, I think it was butternut squash. Nope, no, it wasn't butternut squash. It was toffee. Beautiful color. I thought it would work on here. I thought it was going to work perfectly fine. I thought it would stand out. Nope. Nope. I got about 20 stitches in and I thought, that's too subtle. Yeah, he can barely see it. Could barely see it. And so I did a little test stitch with this other color. I did a test stitch of 1 stitch. And I decided, no, I like that much better. So I pulled it out. This is the part I pulled out, and started again. And I am so happy. I never regretted that decision at all. And I think I saw on M&M, she suggested instead of holding up the whole thing of floss against sheer fabric, to actually just take out strand and hold up just a strand to your fabric, and you can get a better impression. It's tricky. I'm almost tempted to do. I got so much room on this fabric. I don't know. That's the other thing I seem to be doing is mismeasuring. Like I thought these 2 samplers would just fit perfectly lengthwise, and it almost looks like I can fit 3 samplers on here, but I might not be able to. But so I could have obviously done, but that's 2.5 inch border. So I did 2.5 inch border, and I got lots of room on the bottom too. I don't know if anything would go in there. Probably an ornament, maybe. But I could also be test stitching in corners too. So even just 1 stitch, I can get a feel. I think anybody could get a feel. So the other colors I got, but I might have to rework this, is there's some snowflakes. So I got this color, and there's a couple of, this is the red. It is gorgeous. It's just so beautiful. It's called Buckeye Scarlet. The snowflake color, which I hope it's going to show up. I think it will. It's called Bluebell. Yeah, I'm doing it on the right side of the fabric. This is a printed fabric, so. And then I got 2 greens that I'm going to be using there for the trees and the letters. And so they're very similar, but slightly different. And I think they're going to work out really well. One is moss and one is dragonfly. And then I have this, and I'm not convinced on this one. This is brown bear, and it's kind of dark. It's for the deer. There's deer, and it's also up in the letters. But I'm going to give it a try and see, because Seems like with this fabric, darker is better. And then, yeah, I got this butternut squash for some bright yellow. I think that's the house, the windows and the doors. And then banker's gray, which I think I'm going to use on the roof of the house. So those are my plans with those. And this was what I worked on. The edge it was called burnt orange, and it was just a beautiful variegation. I think I'm color completed on that one, so I might work that one into a different project. Speaking of different projects, I haven't started it yet, but just one moment. This is the other, I showed this before in one of my earlier videos. It's called Dear Daughter, and I might do this at some point for my mom also, but because I'm going to Ontario, my aunt lives there, and she, her husband passed away last year, around this time last year, or maybe a year and a half ago, and so they were married for 50 years. I thought I would just, when I go to the convention, to actually go and visit her. So maybe fly in, rent a car, drive out to visit her, because she's about 2 hours out of Toronto, and visit her. And I thought, well, I should make her something. So I thought I would make her this, and instead of Dear Daughter of Mine, do Dearest Aunt of Mine. And in the future, I'd also do Dearest Mother or Dear Mother of Mine. So I can do this twice. Right now I'm stitching, I'm not marking up the patterns at all. So I've been trying to work out the colors on this. It's been a bit trickier. I'm not going to start this until I finish the other one. I'll probably take it with me to BC to work on there. But these are some of the colors I've pulled, but I haven't fully decided on. So lots of beautiful pinks for all the roses. There's lots of roses in it, and some darker colors. But that is still to come. So you can see, like, it's got lots of roses around here, and and then there's butterflies and the house. And I'm not happy with how light the house is, so I'm gonna definitely rechart that color, that house. So that one is gonna take a little bit more thinking and see what I come up with. So that's my whips, that's my new starts, and that's my finish for now with the Nightmare Before Christmas L, and that's my plans, sort of. So main plans are to finish off my mother's Christmas present. If I could get that finished, fully finished, then there I go. I got a Christmas present. I take that with me. So that is my goal. And it's going pretty fast. I think that was a pretty good start that I've done. I'd like to also finish off that square for Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow and get started on the next square. So I have to figure out what I'm going to take with me. I know I'm only gone for 3 weeks, and I know it's always tempting to take lots of stuff. I plan to take Pandemic with me as my only. I'll take Overcovid with me so that my mom can see it. I'm not going to take the stuff with me because I use that one on the Lowry stand. It's a little bit bigger, and I really need good light. I don't think I'm going to have very good light there. I was thinking of taking Pandemic with me. I think it's an easy one to kind of work on at any time, any place. It's a bit bigger, but it fits all inside a project bag. And then the rest is going to be paper charts. So I'll probably take, I might still take Nessie Mitchell, which I'm renaming for my great-great aunt. I'm going to put her name in it. It's Florence Stevenson. And the year, I'll put her year of birth, the dates, her birth to death. So she, I think, lived from I think she was probably born in, I want to guess, 1870s, and I think she died in 1960. I think she was around 90 years old, maybe a little bit before 1960. I actually have her diary. She was a nurse, and she traveled around the country, the United States, mostly on the East Coast here, but she did go out to San Francisco like in I think 1920. It was shortly after the earthquake, or maybe it was 1918. And she saw the evidence of the earthquake and big fire. She sees a plane for the first time. She traveled by train, obviously, and so she was a private nurse. I think she mostly went and would sit with people that were probably sort of like palliative care, or maybe not even palliative care, maybe they're just about to pass away, and she would just sit with them for their final days. And so her diary doesn't actually have a lot of, it's a 5-year diary, like a really small book, but it covers about, I want to say 20 years sort of intensely, and then off and on other years. So on a single day, she'll write the year and sunny weather, saw so-and-so, or working here, or whatever. So she just almost put a line or two per each year. So obviously in a 5-year diary, there's probably about 25 or 30 lines. And so she would put multiple years all the way through. So I was gonna make a book out of that and write it. So I've actually kind of transcribed the whole diary and have that. And then I'm kind of fictionalizing in between, because it's very da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Not a lot of story. It's just little pointed facts. And so I'm trying to work now at making that more complete. And that's probably going to be my New Year's resolution, which I'll probably start when I get back from BC, which is mid-December. Get back into a routine of writing, because I was doing that for a good solid half year. I go in waves, get back on the writing routine. You just got to make the effort to sit down and write, and just have to shut that door and write. So once I get back from my trip back west, I will then start writing again. Now that the 100,000 stitches in 100 days, so that was quite the task. Doing 1,000 stitches a day was time consuming. It was life consuming. It was all I focused on for the last 100 days. So like since August 2nd to now, I am so relieved to not be counting anymore, to not have to reach a certain number, to get my life back a bit. So I'm proud of being able to do that many stitches. It was a great challenge. She might do another one next year, and I'll definitely give you guys the heads up if she does do it, and maybe give the link. It's just a Facebook group. And she did other mini challenges. She's talking about maybe doing something a little less intense next year. Right now, I just need a break from counting, and just to be able to stitch what I want, when I want, and how much I want. So that's the phase I'm on right now. So I'm going to now just add on a few things. So I'll show you my diary from the 100,000 stitches in 100 days. And I will also show you a little bit of Sheila's secondhand stash. Okay, so I just went down and got my diary. This is my, sorry, there's the birds. Living with birds, you get bird poop everywhere, and so that's just a little bit of residue. Sorry, that's kind of gross, but so this was my 100,000 in 100 days. So what I had hoped, so I wrote out all the days, and I would just keep track of how many stitches I did. And then we gave weekly updates, so then I would just do the weekly total. And as you can see, some weeks I had little stitches. Let's see. And then, or some days I would have little stitches, and some days I'd have great stitches. And then at the very end, this is when it actually finished, which, like I said, is tomorrow. But I wanted to make it so that the final day I originally 2,000 stitches, but I decided to make it 2021. So I called it my Stitchathon. And so that's 100,000 stitches in 100 days. And I'm pretty darn proud of that. Okay, now will be my new segment, Sheila's Secondhand Stash. So, as you may have seen in the 24 hours cross stitch, I got, I believe, about, I think there were 9 boxes, like this. It was all color separated. And in these boxes, these are cheap boxes. They were $3 at the dollar store. And what they did was they just didn't put in the slats. So there's no slats separating it so that they could hold skeins, which I thought was pretty cool. So I went through all this and I itemized all the DMC, and I think, and counted it all. And then I went through my other stash that I got, where I got all the DMC in the normal already bobbinated, and anything I was missing I put into my regular stash. Turned out I was missing about there were about 35 that weren't in my stash, so that was a great win. That was awesome. And then she had some where she had 13 of one color of DMC, so that was kind of nice to have a bulk that might be used in something specific where I need 13 skeins. But so I separated out. I got, like in this case, in this orangey pinks, I have like 5 DMCs. Oh no, I have those 5 DMCs. Then this is some bulk of a color of DMC that she's got. So these are all DMC. And then we get into these strange different types. So we got anchor's well known. So we got a bunch of anchors here. And then we got J and P coats, which I've seen at like Walmart for cheaper. Then we have this one that's called Rose, or it says Rose. I don't know if you can see this. Let's try this. Oh, we can't see. It's not focusing. Okay. So maybe I'll take, anyways, Rose. What else do we have in here? We have this one, which has like no label on top. It's just solidly black. There's no label, but it has a certain pattern for the color. And then there's ones that that say Moonbeam on them, or Moon Brand. So this is Moon Brand. And then we got this ND, which is Design for the Needle, made in Mexico. So, and got a bunch of those. And then there was also in some of these, I might not have any in this one, ones that just said 100% cotton. That's all they said. And we went on a trip. We went on a couple of trips. We've been traveling about. So we went on one road trip where we did 2 driving tours. We've been looking at sailboats. My husband wants to buy a sailboat. And so we drove up to Truro and stayed overnight, 2 nights in Truro. And one night did a big, huge loop. And I'll show this at the end of the video, just the map showing where we went. And we did the Northumberland shore, and then we did part of the Bay of Fundy. And then the next day we went up and did, again, the Northumberland shore, the other part, almost near Cape Breton, and then came down what's called the Eastern Shore, or I think it's called the Eastern Shore. So like I said, there was this one set of these sets that are, I could tell, are cheaper types. All they say on them is 100% cotton. So that's all it says, is 100% cotton. And they're packaged like this gradations of colors, which is kind of pretty. I don't even know if they're 6 strands. I think they might be heavier. They might be a thicker strands. It looks like, gosh, it looks like it's 3 strands, but I haven't pulled one apart yet. It says 8 meters. And so that was kind of a mystery. And I was going to ask you guys, while we were on a road trip, we stopped off at a dollar store because I think I wanted to look to buy some scissors. So I buy some cheap scissors. I find some of these kitty scissors actually work really well because they're not sharp, and so they don't tend to cut anything than what I intend them to cut. And so we saw a dollar store and thought, oh, let's check and see if there's any kid scissors there. So I went in and I got 2 pairs of scissors for $3. Awesome deal. So they work great. They absolutely work great. And while I was there, there was a wall of craft stuff. And wouldn't you know it, I saw packages of this. They had a package that was variegated and a package that was, I think, the whites and the blacks and the grays. And so it was $3 or $2.59, $2.50, something like that, for a package of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's a little, I'm going to try it out. I'm going to test it out. I have some patterns that I've bought, and once I got some fabric, I do want to test these out and just see how it looks. I don't know if it's color fast, so kind of doing a mix of, you know, some expensive threads and some cheap threads, and just kind of see what the difference in the quality is, how it looks and stuff. I don't have a lot of faith in this stuff, but perhaps I can find some use for it. So all in all, Sheila's secondhand stash, it's fun. It's fun. It's fun trying out these new, I think there were probably about 8 different types of threads, and the only 3 I recognized was DMC, Anchor, and J&P Coats. So there's all these other ones that are turning out pretty okay, some of them, and then whether I use these or give these to some kids or something, I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to give them a try and see what they look like. So that's all for now, I think. Wow, I'm at 46 minutes. That was long. I had a lot to cover. So thank you to all my new subscribers. I had so many new subscribers the last couple of weeks. It's awesome and welcome. I hope you enjoy what you see here. Thank you for all my regular returning subscribers. Thank you for spending time with me and watching. I really, really enjoy spending time with you. I'm going to get my next video out hopefully before I leave, which is November 26th I leave. So today is the 8th. So probably in, let's see, 8 and 14 and 22. So probably in 2 weeks, I'll be looking at putting the next video out on that week. And then I'll probably be doing one in BC, in the West Coast. So, you know, we'll see how that goes. It's going to be some busy times, some fun times, and wow, so much. I'm sure there's tons of other things that I've forgotten, but it's been a busy 3 weeks, and it's just going to get busier. So anyways, I'll say goodbye now, and thanks everybody for watching. Take care.